All right, I think it's going to work. Technical difficulties. Telling. So let's see what happens. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. Perfect. It says we're live. So good morning, Susanna.
Good morning, Laura.
All right. So this is Susanna Hart. She is with Guild Mortgage, and I have her on today to talk a little bit about different programs that are still available during this crazy time, during the COVID-19. There's still lots of different options. Get questioned probably, every other day at least by buyers who have been wanting to purchase a home, even before the shelter in place you know, took place. And they, prior to this, we were still seeing multiple offers, and buyers were getting bid out. And now we're not seeing so much of that because for obvious reasons. And so this is a really actually great opportunity for buyers to take, they now have a little bit of breathing room. They can view homes virtually online and put offers in, subject to inspection, and get their foot in the door to a home that they might not have possibly had a chance to, had this not taken place. So there's kind of a light at the end of the tunnel here. So that's what I've been telling buyers. It's still a great time. And with interest rates being still so low, there's really no reason not to. But I really wanted to have Susanna on here today to talk about the different options. She specializes in affordable housing, and actually our buyer's agent, Nicole Hunt, who she wasn't able to meet with us today, but she and Susanna, you guys have done several of seminars on home affordable programs. And so I just kind of want to get on you today to talk about that. And first question I have for you is, what is a first-time, who is a first-time home buyer? Who qualifies as a first-time home buyer?
Well, there's several different ways to look at that particular definition, but the starting point is the federal definition, and that is you've not owned interest in your primary residence in the last 3 years. So technically, for some folks who may have a second home somewhere or inherited a property, they may still be considered a first-time home buyer if they've not lived in a home where they've had interest. Now, from there will be other programs that will either tighten or loosen that definition up. It just is a matter of making sure that we're looking at the proper programs and the proper parameters for each couple or person that comes along for purchasing a home.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. A lot of times people are not sure if they qualify for that. So now, what programs are still being used by lenders to help first-time home buyers into a home right now?
There are a lot of programs out there, both on municipal level, such as through cities. Oakland, Brentwood's currently suspended. Antioch is still working on getting theirs up and running. Wish funds, and then there's state programs, the GSFA, the CalHFA, so the California Housing Finance Authority or the Golden State Finance Authority. Guild offers the CalHFA and the Golden State Finance Authority Platinum. We are working with the investor to get back on track with the open doors under the Golden Finance Authority, but at this time we are not lending on that specific one. But we still have at least 2 of the major state programs available, as well as I'm involved in a lot of the various different city ones. And there is a program through the Federal Home Loan Bank called Wish Funds, and it's a matching program for people who are on the low income range. And they have just released funds as of 2 days ago, I believe.
Oh, good. Okay. So these programs help buyers, and it's just for first-time home buyers, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So it kind of helps them get their foot in the door. It gives them grants and different options, down payment assistance, that type of stuff, so that they don't have the 20% that everybody thinks that they need to have to buy a home, or even 3.5 or 3%. They're still able to do so. Is that correct?
That is correct. I do want to make one quick correction. The Golden State Finance Authority Platinum Program, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. The main loan for Cal HFA, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer, but the down payment assistance that comes with it, you do. But for the most part, I've rarely used the main loan on Cal HFA for anybody that's not been a first-time home buyer. But the GSFA is the exception to the rule.
Okay, got it. Okay. And then what is their, for a first-time home buyer, what does their credit score have to look like? Does it have to be way up there for them to qualify, or what are we looking at in terms of their credit score?
For the most part, a lot of these first-time homebuyer programs know that everybody's not stellar with their credit. The Golden State Finance Authority typically will be around 640 for your minimum credit score. Cal HFA for your low income is 660. For moderate income, you're going to be 680. So there are with regards to that. Now, if we do layer it with other municipal programs, they may have their own criteria, and that will be a precedent over everything else if it's higher.
Okay. And how is income calculated in these first-time home buyer programs? And why it's important to understand that as to a buyer. How does that calculate in there?
Exactly. So for the state programs, we're going to take whatever the borrower on the application makes, and we don't necessarily have to use all of the income. So for the Golden State Finance Authority and for Cal HFA, it's what's on the application for the home buyer purchasing the home. If it's a municipal program, they are going to look at the household income, and that is anybody over 18 who is working. We do have to consider their income into the whole equation. They don't go on the loan necessarily, but they do have to be a part of this transaction. So if you have a young child who's maybe 19 or 20 working out of a fast food place or waitressing or working at a student bookstore, we have to count that as part of the household income. And we're going to look at a current pay stub. We're going to take what you would average on that pay stub monthly and then project it forward. And so sometimes we have to be very, very aware that any other income, overtime bonuses, or any kind of stipulations that somebody may have received as their income can be counted in there. And we need to be able to really communicate well, understand what all that income is, so that if we need to discount it or prove that it's not something that is ongoing, we can communicate that to the authority properly.
Got it. Okay. All right. Where do you see things right now? I mean, are you're able to close loans that you're working with right now? And has there been any challenges that you can see or that you've been faced with, I guess?
The biggest challenge that we're seeing right now obviously has to do with appraisals. With the fear out there, and it's a very real fear, is to have an appraiser come into a home and appraise that home. For the most part, we have been able to work some magic in areas. If it's a vacant home, obviously the appraiser can go in. If it's somebody who is high risk, we may be able to request a drive-by appraisal. It just really depends on the parameters of the loan. For the most part, that has been our biggest challenge. But in terms of closing loans on a purchase, 30 days is still a very realistic possibility. We do have to be aware there are going to be some areas that will pop up. Will the county be available to record it right away? The appraisal, and that's right. And also verifications of employment have also been a huge challenge. They are anyway, but we have to have it within 1 day of funding the loan. So borrowers need to be aware that if they have somebody who can help us get that verification done expeditiously, to please reach out to your loan officer and make sure that they understand that that's what we need to do.
Okay, probably doing that in the very beginning, right? To give everybody a heads up, like, hey, we're going to need this, so make sure that you're available when we need it, type of a thing.
Absolutely, and get a contact and an email or telephone number. Email is usually really good because what we can do is, if it's a work email, we can take a work email verification.
Okay, okay. Well, you answered my last question. I just kind of was trying to figure out what our average, closing is, and you said we're still looking at about 30 days. So that's good. We don't see it being extended to 60 or beyond. So things seem to be still moving along. Obviously without little challenges, there's always going to be that, but sounds like things are good and positive, and it's good to see you. And I
Good to see
appreciate
you.
you taking this time, and stay healthy, and tell everybody I said hi over there at Guild. And
Will do. Everybody over at Keller Williams too?
yeah, well, we're all at home. Nobody's, but
Yeah.
we can't go into the office, but that's okay. We're making it work at home with our kids and dogs and everything.
Yep.
So,
This is true. This is true.
yeah. Great. Well, thanks again for coming on, and
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
So stay tuned. I have our weekly stats. If you would like me to, I'm going to share the screen here and give you an idea of what's going on this week. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, because I hit down here and now, okay, there we go. So to give you an idea of what's going on this week, I've been doing week to week just to, instead normally I do month over month, but I've been doing week over week because it's important to see what's going on. Anyways, in Brentwood, we have 15 homes that listed this week. So people are still listing their homes. They're going on the market, and they're being listed. We had 8 homes sold. In Oakley, we listed 6, sold 7. In Antioch, listed 13, sold 8. And I'm writing on here now. Let's see here. Discovery Bay listed 8, and that is not spelled right, but sold 5. Anyways, wanted to give you that information. So even though we're going through what we're going through, we are still, homes are being listed, and they are selling right here in Contra Costa County in our Brentwood Oakley Discovery Bay market. So thank you all for tuning in, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.